Hi, my name is Sati Verma, and I'm explaining this vertical hydroponic or aeroponic tower. I'm growing tomato plants in it. And the construction is very simple. If I can go closer, there's a reservoir underneath, and in this reservoir, I have a submersible pump placed there. I'm using another bucket to provide the support to this tower, which is filled with rocks to provide the support. Now the submersible pump is taking the water with the nutrients up, and it's going to the top, and then at top there is an end cap and it's going through there. Then I have a shower head underneath, and then the nutrient and the water solution pours in into the plants. I have attached these elbows here, which is at 90 degrees, and I just plug in a plant like that. The problem with this setup is the elbows are at 90 degree, so I'm kind of find it hard to put the plant that goes inside, because these elbows, the portion of this elbow is inside the pipe. That makes it harder to turn the plant in, even in the initial stages when it is delicate, to turn it at 90-degree angle. So if there is an elbow that goes at around 45 degrees or even slighter up, that would be a great setup. And then there is nothing inside, so I can just plug in the plant. There is another option. You can have an 1 inch of elbow and then place a net pot in there, but that would be difficult to achieve, because then the roots may or may not get the water unless they grow inside. Then they will get the water nutrient solution. The best approach is to have it at 45-degree angle or even slightly lesser, to make it easy to plug in the plant there. I've been successfully growing several different varieties and species of these plants, including tomatoes. I even tried bell pepper and other bigger plants. My emphasis is how can I get the bigger plants, and not the lettuce and spinach, but the bigger plant like tomatoes, eggplants, bell pepper, and can grow them vertically in here. I've been quite successful, but there are some structural uh, issues, and I cannot find those things at the hardware stores. Now the main issue that comes once the season is over, and I can show you here, is the roots are inside this big tower. And see this, the residue of the plants, they are stuck in the elbows. If I can show you here, these residues, this is stuck here, then another one is stuck here. These are hard to take out, and the roots are inside. I'm finding it hard to clean this thing up, so it would be a good idea to make it in different pieces, slice them up. I can manage 2 feet or even lesser height for a single structure, and then I can add multiple of those structures together. Now the issues that will arise because such kind of structure is because the water is coming in the pipe. I have my doubts that there might be leaks if we keep joining the parts together, but we can overcome with that problem if the piece that goes inside remains inside, and the top portion is slightly broader, wherein the other piece will fit into it. And I do not want to spend much of the real estate of the pipe that goes into the insertion. But yeah, this is possible if we can make a smaller portion, a bottom portion slightly smaller, and the upper portion is slightly bigger, and then the bottom portion is smaller and the upper portion is bigger. Something like the technique we use in coupling two different pipes, but in that structure only the coupler is smaller that goes in. Let us talk about the different pieces. Let me assume it is a middle portion. I can talk about the bottom portion and the top portion separately because they are different. But for the middle portion, say for example it is 8 inches, then we can have 2 elbows attached, 4 on the side but slightly on a different length. Say if it is on 2 inch, then it is on 4 inches, and then another is at 8 inches, so it gives us the 6 inch distance from here to here and from here to here. So we have 4 different elbows but at a different angle of each other, so we get more space for the plant to grow. The issue would be how to insert them and then how to provide the structural integrity of the entire tower when it is complete. So one thing what I was thinking of is the bottom piece that we will make here has some plate kind of thing attached to it, and we can screw some nuts in there from underneath, so that will hold this structure in place. And additionally we can provide some holes in there and then attachments here, probably extrusions, where we can take a pole, some steel rod or something, and then that keep going inside those parts that are the part of the tower, and then the entire rod can go and we can nut it up at the top. That will serve 2 purposes: first, to provide the structural integrity to the tower, and secondly can work as a cage for these plants, and we can tie them with that cage. So that will serve the two purposes there. This pipe that is coming from submersible pipe, I want it to go inside, and rather than putting a pipe, the structure itself has a built-in pipe in there, so the one piece goes into the another. Again, the bottom one goes inside and the top one goes outside, and then when we join them together, it forms a shape of a pipe, and then we can take the water from inside. The other part is one thing was providing the structural integrity, putting some nuts and bolts outside with a steel rod. Inside also we can provide a provision to putting a steel rod there, so if someone is interested to provide the support outside, it can be done, and if we want to use that for inside support, we can do that. It is either or, so we will have both these options. That will give me an opportunity to, if I change my mind, not putting the cage outside, if I'm growing the smaller plants, then I can take those steel rods through the openings inside the pipe and could screw at the top, put a nut and bolt, and then can provide the structural integrity that way. The third part for the bottom, that will become important because that steel rod we can again nut and bolt from the inside. That would be the part of the bottom part, and there should be an attachment, say this submersible pipe, that the pipe comes here, so we should have an attachment for the 3 by 4 inch pipe, which is an irrigation pipe. So the bottom portion where we are making the provision for taking the water inside through those structures, then we can attach it with some kind of a mechanism is there, like in the irrigation systems. So if we can put that thing in at the bottom, so directly the submersible pipe will attach, and then there won't be any need for this extra support here. Now that is the bottom part, and the bottom part can have a plate or something, or it can be an open area where the water falls down into the reservoir. The middle parts I've already discussed. Now at the top part, what I'm doing right now is placing an end cap. This goes at the top. Now I want to replace this end cap. It takes much of the real estate of the pipe, so this one fits something like this here right now. Sorry for that. This fits in like that, and it goes probably 2 inches down. What I want is instead of this we just can have a lid at the top and something here to pull it up rather than having the entire cap. If it is just it works as a lid. If I can show you, I'm having hard time putting my camera at the angle. And if there is a lid and something here to grab, and then you just open it rather than using this entire cap. So we don't need this much of the portion, the width size of it, only the top portion that can just cover the pipe, and we have the lid, we have some structure. So what I do underneath that hand cap is I'm using a funnel, and I'm lucky to get a right size funnel that just fits in on the 4-inch pipe. And then I made different holes in this funnel, so I'm using it as a shower, as a shower for this. But the water is coming through here from the bottom. Say pipe is coming here, pipe is coming from underneath, attaches at the end of the funnel, and then the water keeps filling in the shower head kind of thing, and then rains down. In my recent changes, what I want is that if we are bringing some pipe which is a part of this structure and it comes until here, then we can add a T or something. We can put a plate here. If the top portion we made something where a plate can rest on it, so we make probably half centimeter or some kind of structure inside the pipe where you put a plate and it just rests there, and in that plate we can put holes, and because the pipe is coming from underneath, so we will have that much of space inside the plate so that it just covers that pipe, and the pipe keeps going up, crossing the plate, and then at the top of it we can put a T. The another thing what I would like to have in here is, in order to make it modular, if I want to have 6-7 of these structures, that there's a hole in here for a 3x4 or half-inch pipe fitting. I think the hole size would be for a half-inch pipe, it should be around 0.7. so a 0.7 dia hole at both sides of this pipe, so that if there are more than 1 or 2 or 3 pipes, then I don't need a separate submersible pump and a separate reservoir for everyone. I can use one submersible pump and can take the water from the side of this tower and can pass it through, partly taking the water here, and then rest of the water goes outside and then attaches to another similar structure. So for that purpose I need 2 holes across each other, probably 0.7 in diameter, so I can fix a half-inch pipe in there. The third thing is, near that hole I want a small another hole where I can put a screw and can tight it, and if need be, in the situation where I want to make it modular, I have so many pipes, so I can use that bolt and then hang the tower on the top by taking a wire between 2 poles, and then just keep hanging different towers in there and just running the water through 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. So there should be a small hole where I can put a bolt and tighten that up, and can put a wire tie and can hang it that way. So this is all the structural issues I'm currently facing, and if we can find some way to keep it together, put it together and create it on 3D printing. I don't think a 2 feet pipe would be an option, but definitely between 8 and 10 inches would be different pieces. Bottom piece would be different, top piece would be slightly different, and that's all to it. Thank you very much.